Hello, Michigan City staff and students. This is Mr. Greene, and I want to talk to you today about the Standard Response Protocol. And this is our safety procedures for the building for all staff and students. And I just want to highlight a few things and clarify a few things. So the Standard Response Protocol is based on the response to any given situation, not on individual scenarios. Like the Incident Command System, Standard Response Protocol demands a specific vocabulary, but it also allows for great flexibility. And the premise is simple. These 5 specific actions can be performed during an incident. When communicating these, the action is labeled with a term of art, and that is followed by a directive. Execution of the action is performed by active participants. The first action that I want to talk about in the Standard Response Protocol is a hold. And a hold is followed, the command is followed by the directive in your room or area. And this protocol is used when hallways need to be kept clear of occupants. Scenarios would be a student is sick or passed out in the hallway. God forbid a staff member had a heart attack or had something happen to them in the hallway. So we need to keep hallways clear so that medical staff, emergency medical staff, ambulances can come in and deal with the situation without having to go through crowds. A hold is not a dangerous situation for the occupants in the school. It is because there's something that happened in the hallway, or sometimes when we have locker checks and we bring dogs in the building. Students don't need to be around those dogs, so we would put the building in a hold. The next protocol that I want to talk about is secure. Secure is followed by the direction, get inside, lock outside doors. And this protocol is used to safeguard people within the building. That means that there's a danger outside of the building, and whatever that is, we don't need that danger coming inside of the building. So one incident that I do remember at a former school system was a restaurant got robbed. And the gunman, the robbers shot people, killed people in the restaurant, and took off and was running in a car, and it was in the vicinity of the school. And since law enforcement were on their way, no one knew where the individual would try to hide, so the building was put on a hold. Next, this is the big one, lockdown. Lockdown is followed by locks, lights, out of sight. And this protocol is used to secure individual rooms and keep occupants quiet. I want to emphasize that, quiet and in place. So lights are out, you're away from windows, the door is locked, and you're not making any sound. A lockdown means there is a threat in the building. Lockdown means there's a threat inside of the building. And so with that one, we need to be careful. Cell phones need to be turned off. No one needs to be talking, and we need to be away from windows. Now the next one is evacuate. Evacuate may be followed by a location, and it's used to move people from one location to a different location, in or out of the building. A lot of times out of the building, a tornado hit the building flooded. There was a train crash where there's a bad chemical spill, and the chemical cloud is around the school building, so we need to leave the premises. And so we would go to a secondary location where we would all meet up. And I know people want to ask me and find out where that is, but we won't disclose that because some people could see this video, make a threat, and then meet us at that reunification spot. Just know we have those in place, and if we need to, we will announce where they are. We do have that plan. The last one I want to talk about is shelter. So in shelter, we would state the hazard and the safety strategy for group and self-protection. So we call shelter in place because we're doing a earthquake drill or a tornado drill. And so we would call for shelter, and then you would go to the designated area where you need to go. A lot of times it's under a desk, sometimes it's in a hallway, and we have other prescribed locations based on the shelter protocol. But again, reemphasizing these, there's only one protocol on here that addresses a danger inside of the school, and that is lockdown. So when you hear that, there is a danger inside of the school. For the rest of these, most of the dangers are outside of the school. Evacuate, yeah, it could, based on what the problem is. If there's damage to the building, we need to leave the building. But I do want to clear that up because sometimes we hear hold and people think there's a problem inside the building. There isn't. There's somebody sick, or we're doing locker searches, things like that. But that doesn't mean there's a danger to the building. And secure, once again, means that the threat is outside of the building, and we lock down the perimeter of the building so the threat can't get inside. So we're safe inside. We can have passing periods, regular business as usual, go to lunch, go to all your classes, go to the restroom, and all those things. Lockdown is the only one where the threat is inside the building. Thank you for listening, and have a good day. And please reach out, feel free if you have any questions to contact me. Thank you again. Thank you for listening and taking time out to hear about the standard response protocol. We also have a very important video made by students that I want you to see. And the last thing I want you to know and understand is that there is a committee here, a safety team, a committee of administrators and teachers who meet regularly to discuss the safety of this building. And Ms. Fargo is one of the committee members. So we thank her for her time and for her diligence in being on that committee. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.
Why is this stuff important? There are things the adults don't like to talk about, but if things happen at school, I need to have a plan. And I need to know that the adults have a plan. So I'm going to talk about the standard response protocol. It's all about these simple actions.
The first action is hold. Stay in your classroom, clear the hallways. The second action is secure. Get inside, lock outside doors. The third action is lockdown. Locks, lights, out of sight. The fourth action is evacuate. A location will be announced. The fifth action is shelter. The hazard and safety strategy will be announced. So let's get started and learn about hold.
Hold in your classroom or area, clear the halls. Hold in your classroom or area, clear the halls.
Something is happening in the halls and the school needs to get it sorted out. So we'll stay in our classroom even if the bell rings.
Try to do classwork, but remind your teacher to lock and close the classroom door.
Won't I be marked tardy for my next class?
Not during a hold.
And if I'm in the cafeteria or the gym?
Depending on what's happening, you might be asked to stay in your area if you aren't in a classroom.
Unlike a lockdown, a hold can be released with a PA announcement.
Students, all clear, the hold is released. All clear, the hold is released.
I'm James. I'm a school resource officer. Kids, get inside, hustle.
Secure, get inside, lock outside doors. Secure, get inside, lock outside doors.
Why are we doing it?
We're doing this because something is happening in the neighborhood near the school and we have to get you guys inside. Could be crimes out there, could be riots, could be a dangerous animal, could be zombies.
James, zombies aren't real.
You don't know that.
Here's what happens. Get everyone inside. But inside, you just keep everything normal. Even class changes stay on schedule, except between buildings.
Initially, nobody can come in or go out of the building.
Depending on what's happening, your teacher may ask you to text your parents and tell them not to freak out. School is happening just like normal, and if they show up, they probably won't be let in anyway.
That's right, nothing to see here.
Chill. Secure is just staying inside.
Sometimes it's a pain, like when school gets out or during lunch, but usually you won't notice much.
What about lockdown?
This is serious. Pay attention because something bad is happening in the school.
Oh, things adults don't want to talk about.
First, I'm going to talk about stuff that we do know, data and research about attacks at schools. Then I'm going to talk about what to do depending on where you are. First of all, 70% of these are over within 5 minutes. 90% are over in 10 minutes.
Heavy.
First, let's look at one thing that they have learned. An attacker has hardly ever gotten through a locked classroom door. Hardly ever.
Where'd you see that?
Get on the web and look at the Sandy Hook Commission report. The FBI has some stuff too.
Lockdown, locks, lights, out of sight. Lockdown, locks, lights, out of sight.
So the teacher will lock and close the door.
Right, then what happens?
I got this. First, we're going to get out of sight of the corridor window.
What else are you gonna do?
Then we're going to get low on the floor. I'm going to make sure I can't see out of the corridor window. Then I'm going to take a deep breath and focus. This is an important 5 or 10 minutes. I'm even going to silence my phone or turn it on Do Not Disturb.
Turn off your data and Wi-Fi too. This helps the first responders keep their internet access.
But can I text my parents?
Yes, but not at first. Your teacher will probably have you wait about 5 minutes until it's safe. If it's safe, A few of you at a time can text your parents.
Here's what to text. I'm okay. We're in a lockdown. I'll update you every 5 minutes. I'm going to add this. I love you guys.
Text your parents, don't text your friends, don't post on social media. Duh. Here's one thing, a lockdown can be scary and it's probably going to last a long time. I need you to support each other, listen to your teacher. What else do you keep in mind?
Don't open the door for anyone.
What if they say it's the police? Like this, police, open the door.
I don't know if it's really the police or someone trying to fool me, so I'm not going to open the door for anybody or even say anything.
Right, law enforcement or an administrator will unlock and open the door.
Same thing with an announcement on the PA. They're going to stay here until the administrator or police comes and opens the door.
What about the fire alarm?
When we're in a lockdown, we're going to treat a fire alarm a little differently. Unless it's really a fire in the room, we're going to initially stay put. Although I might look at other ways to get outside.
If you're in the hallway, cafeteria, or gym, try to get behind a locked door or try to get out of the building. Remember, 5 minutes, so go quick. Think about other locking doors like staff bathrooms and some offices.
The student bathrooms are probably a last resort. No locking doors, but at least you can get out of sight. This is a good time to talk about evacuate. Sometimes we just need to leave the building. Depending on what's happening, we might be asked to leave our stuff. Or we may be asked to bring it. If your phone's in your pocket, keep it there.
If you hear lockdown and aren't in a locked classroom, remember self-evacuation is another option.
That means getting out of the building and going to a safe place quickly.
Once you're there, call your parents, tell them you're okay. The school might also give you an emergency number to contact.
What happens when police release a lockdown?
Police or an administrator will open the door and begin the classroom evacuation. Now, don't be surprised if they are a little loud or they keep shouting, "Show me your hands!"
Got it. They're going to be loud and keep my hands empty and visible. Can I bring my stuff?
Probably not, just what's in your pockets.
They'll probably bring us to a secure assembly area like a cafeteria or a gym before moving us to where our parents can pick us up.
At the assembly area, don't be surprised if an officer searches you. They just want to make sure there's nothing dangerous out there.
Got it. They're going to be loud. They're going to search us.
If you think about it, you're probably going to be stressed, so it's going to feel a little more intense than it really is. They are probably going to be a little stressed. They probably don't know you, but we all have the same goal in mind, to keep you safe.
So what you're saying is cut everyone a little break, and we can actually help reduce their stress and our parents' stress.
Okay, there's one more action.
Let's talk about shelter.
Different schools might do different things, but here are some examples of what might be announced.
Tornado, get to the storm shelter. Earthquake, drop, cover, and hold. Hazmat, seal doors and windows. Tsunami, get to higher ground.
This is important. I was in 4th grade at Sandy Hook Elementary School on December 14, 2012. I got out. My little brother was at Sandy Hook too. He got out, but it was a close call. My older brother and sister were at the middle school. It was a tough day for them too. So I just need to have a plan, have some options.
And you need to know the adults have a plan too. I was the school resource officer at Arapahoe High School in 2013 when the attack happened there.
I'm going to ask you to do one more thing. When you go home today, talk to your parents. Tell them about what you learned today.